Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is the 2004 sequel to Nintendo 64's Paper Mario. The game was developed by Intelligent Systems, the Nintendo-affiliated developer behind Metroid, Fire Emblem, and several other Nintendo titles. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is very derivative of its N64 predecessor, which was in turn thematically influenced by Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. The Thousand-Year Door pulls heavy inspiration from both previous titles in gameplay, story, and design. The game was released in Japan in July 2004, where it sold 409,000 copies, and in October in North America, where it sold 1.23 million copies, earning itself a spot in the Player's Choice line on GameCube. Nintendo even named it their own 35th greatest game of all time in a 2006 edition of Nintendo Power. Paper Mario received high praise from critics, winning the award for Role-Playing Game of the Year at the 2005 Interactive Achievement Awards. So, what's so great about Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door? The second Paper Mario begins as many Mario games do, with an invitation from Princess Peach. Mario receives her letter asking him to join her in the town of Rogueport, where she has stumbled across a treasure map. Upon arrival to the town, and after running into a large group of goons, Mario discovers that the princess has gone missing before he arrived, and he now has to help find her. In typical Mario fashion, Princess Peach has been kidnapped, this time by a new group of enemies who happen to be tracking down exactly what she found on map 4, which turns out to be the 7 crystal stars that open Rogueport's mythical Thousand-Year Door. Mario now has to collect the stars, defeating enemies and recruiting friends as he races these cross knots to be the first to find out what's beyond the door, and of course, to save Princess Peach. The world acknowledges the fact that it is in the universe of Mario, but it doesn't make that a limitation. Factions and races of characters are no longer good or evil by default. Everyone you meet has their own story and description. They all have individual dialogue, in fact, avoiding the RPG trope of repetitive dialogue within a certain group.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Sure, the story is part of the Mario lineage and has to include the standard of Princess Peach being kidnapped. And of course, what's a Mario game without Bowser? However, he's little more than an interstitial cameo. The new, original story takes precedence over the name on the label, and if this game were based around any world aside from Mario, it would still be a fantastic game. Though at first glance similar to many other standard RPG battle systems from the era, Paper Mario stands out from the crowd with its unique blend of traditional RPG combat and real-time interaction, creating dynamic turn-based gameplay. Each battle consists of Mario and a party member battling enemies that you encounter in the overworld, which is then taken to an on-stage battle. Mario and friends have their standard attacks on top of unique special moves. Adding to this are action commands, which give a buff to attacks and, when timed correctly, can add a critical damage boost to win the fight. Timing also affects defending against attacks from the enemy, adding even more levels of complexity and strategy for you to play around with, and rewarding skilled players with a deeper level of gameplay. When hopping into battle, a combination of enemy weaknesses and partner choice can be easily deduced. Fighting a hard hitter, bring out a teammate with a dodge or a shield. Fighting a large group, use an area of effect partner. Party members and their abilities play a role outside of combat as well, contributing to exploration of the overworld by revealing new paths and hidden objects, which would not be possible to find without them. The game is also full of hidden content that can not only make the game easier, but more enjoyable to play. There is in fact a secret partner, which we won't reveal here. On top of standard HP and magic, or in this case, flower power, players also have to manage their star power, which makes a return from the previous Paper Mario. Star power is used to make ultra-powerful attacks that are earned by completing each chapter. These abilities carry over battle to battle and can only be replenished by winning fights and appealing to the audience. Badges, found in the overworld and bought in shops, can boost Mario and Friends' stats and add new moves, conditions, and modifiers, thus allowing you to have entirely unique playstyles that fit your preference. This game can be challenging, but definitely not hard by any means. The challenge comes from the player's ability to master the mechanics, as opposed to many RPG pitfalls like luck of enemy spawns or trial and error in combat. The world is full of puzzles which are augmented by the environment and art style, hiding new items and secret shortcuts. Plenty of aspects of puzzles are built into the world naturally that aren't even obvious until you realize what they're there for at a later time. This game may be one of the more casual RPGs you'll come across, but it doesn't baby its players. Once you have the information at hand, it's up to you to solve the puzzles you come across. What separates the experience of a veteran gamer or a new gamer is the ability to pick up on environmental cues and mechanics outside of battle to achieve an upper hand while advancing through your adventure. There is one feature that levels the playing field for every player, experienced or otherwise. That feature is something few games have anything similar to, but which all games should have. And that feature is Merlovely. This cloaked character is your Nintendo Power Guide and GameFAQ walkthrough all in one. For a minor fee of coins, easily obtained in-game currency, Merlovely will point the player towards whatever they're looking for, be it collectibles, power-ups, or even where to go next on your journey. She does all of this without hand-holding, but with a nudge, phrasing everything so that the players still have to do the work for themselves, but now with the information they needed or missed. There are few things more difficult than returning to a long-form game such as an RPG and having no idea what you just did or where you were headed next. Merlovely's hints remove that state of confusion altogether. She is accessible from the beginning of the game, but is entirely optional. You may never have to look up a confusing puzzle again, or you can swear to complete the game without her hints. The choice is yours. Possibly the most wonderful part of this game's aesthetic is how fully aware it is of the paper world. The gameplay and art style integrate fluidly and function as a whole. Right off the bat, this is demonstrated when Mario is dropped off at Rogueport, and his boat peels around to leave. Throughout the course of the game, Mario even stumbles across abilities that acknowledge the fact that he is made of paper, such as turning to a flat profile to sneak through thin gaps, or rolling into a tube to slide under objects. One of the partners, Flurry, even uses her special ability to blow away spare pieces of paper to reveal something behind them. The walls of the world flip, peel, and fall away as you transfer between environments, transitioning smoothly even in situations where the player jumps off the back of buildings into new areas. This art style has allowed the game to age very well. Unfortunately, it is only available for play as a GameCube disc, having never received a port to any other system, including Virtual Console. Luckily, it can be played in progressive mode using a Wii and a component cable, and the simplicity of the world's design allows it to look as crisp as ever. The paper world allows for slight gaps between the folds, so to speak, so that even the minor flaws of the visuals have character to them. The music and sound effects carry the same amount of charm as every Mario game does, hosting light-hearted tunes in towns and shops, exciting pieces in castles and fights, and fun jingles when talking to specific characters. On the topic of characters, depending on which partner you have alongside you during every cutscene, different dialogue will occur, such as Koops being meek or Yoshi boasting and taunting. It's such a minor detail that without playing the game more than once, you may not even notice that it's happening, but it adds so much character to the scenes that could otherwise feel mundane. Everyone you meet, from Goombella to Grotus, has a specific atmosphere to them, blending together their visual design, the location they're from, and the music that plays when you speak to them. This 12-year-old game still holds up to this day as a great entry in the role-playing genre, as well as a key title on the Nintendo GameCube. Nintendo themselves are proud of how it turned out, and many fans say that not only is it the last great Paper Mario entry, but possibly one of the greatest Mario titles to date. So, what's so great about Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door? This game is for Nintendo fans and RPG players alike. The cut-and-dry mechanics allow for players of any skill level to enjoy their experience, while the level of involvement can allow more experienced players to push through the game at a more progressive pace. The tongue-in-cheek fourth wall approach and the decent handful of innuendos hiding among the family-friendly dialogue allow gamers of all ages to find joy in the story. With optional hint systems, customizable upgrades, and multiple options for approach to playstyle, this game lends itself to be molded to the player's adventure, not just a single forced line of gameplay. That is what's so great about Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of What's So Great About Gaming, as we folded, rolled, and flew through the paper world of Paper Mario. If you have a favorite series or single game that you think is great, leave a comment of your choice and we'll look into it. If you feel there is something about Paper Mario that didn't get enough attention, let us know. We'd love to discuss it with you. If it's important enough, we may even make a follow-up video. Thanks again for watching. Now go play a great game. We'll see you next time.